Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, we could really use your help. IMDb, which is the entertainment database, recently named the Two Opinionated podcast one of its top 100 podcasts. This is a monumental feat for this program. You know, we're a father and son team out of a small town in West Virginia, have been doing this for about 5 years. There's 15 million podcasts out there. About 40,000 of those get to the point that they're listed on IMDb. Out of those 40,000 out of the 15 million, we were ranked number 82. Something that we're just immensely proud of. We're so thankful for our listeners, our watchers, our fans. Thank you so, so much. If you would like to help us out, and we're asking for it, please. It's easy. It's really easy. It's free. If you go to IMDb, that's imdb.com, look up Two Opinionated Podcast, and just take a look at the page. That's all you have to do. I mean, you're welcome to look at the cast, look at the episodes so you can kind of see who's been on the program. Do whatever you want. But even just bringing up the page, imdb.com, Two Opinionated Podcast, bring up the page, look at it. That helps us so much. So please, if you can do anything, we would really appreciate that. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Love to have your subscription there. It's also free. And you can also check out our website, meistercon.com, where you'll find almost 700 episodes, audio and video, available on there. There's also a terrific blog from Brett, and it'll let you know anything that we have going on in studio, if we're covering a convention, if we're going on location, anything that we have going on will be on the website, meistercon.com. Thank you guys so, so much. We appreciate you so much. I can't express enough how appreciative we are of all of you. We never expected to do as well as we have, and that's all because of you. Thank you so much. Enjoy that interview. Bye, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Two Opinionated. I'm so excited today. I've got actress Chantelle Albers with me. So welcome, Chantelle.
Hello.
I'm so happy that we finally get to do this. We had originally planned to do it months ago, and we had some issues, and the strike came up, but here we are. We're here now.
Made it happen. Today's the day.
Today's the day. So welcome. So I was telling you I'm a big Western fan, and I loved Two Sinners and a Mule. It reminded me a little bit of maybe like a Banditas type of movie.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. And there was another one that was called Bad Girls. I don't know if you remember that. It's a little further back. Starred Madeline Stowe and I can't remember. I for some reason I'm thinking maybe Drew Barrymore was in it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, but it kind of reminded me of that one too. So really good. And I want to talk about that, but before we do, tell me a little bit about how you got into acting. What made you want to become an actress?
Oh man, well, like everyone else, goes back to my childhood. No, I really did just always want to be an actor as a kid. I remember being I don't know, I was in elementary school, and I would go through the newspaper like looking for open auditions that my parents could take me to that were like an hour away. And so eventually they did cave in and start taking me. And I started doing local productions, musicals, theater, speech, all of that. And I ended up going to college for theater and got my BFA, and then moved to LA and started making films. So, there's a lot of details obviously missed in between times, but that's pretty much the basic. I
think it's interesting because, we talked to a lot of actors on here. Mm-hmm. Most of them, they knew they wanted to be an actor very young.
Yeah.
Where in any other profession, it's rare if young what you end up actually doing. We all have that, I want to be a doctor, or I want to be a firefighter, whatever it is, but it changes as you get older. Actors aren't that way. They figure out they want to be an actor, and that's what they become.
I think that's what my parents were doing. I think they were like, okay, let's just let this cool off. She wants to be an actor. Let's just wait. She'll change her mind. And then that never happens. So
yeah, it never happens. And as a parent, you just want to make sure that whatever your child is doing, it's something they can make a living at.
Yeah.
And acting's hard.
Yeah, it is. You definitely have to grind like every day, and yeah, you definitely have to roll with the punches with it.
I think and you tell me if I'm wrong, but I think the first time I remember seeing you on camera was probably on Modern Family.
Yeah, that was one of my earlier ones that I did. Yeah.
You were a waitress or something on there, if I remember right.
Yep.
When I'm working, if you call podcasting working, I like to
working. Yeah.
Right. I like to have just something on in the background. So usually that's some type of sitcom, but I've went through all of them now. There's like no good ones left. I think I've done all of them. But one of the first ones that I kind of went through was Modern Family. So it's been, I watched it when it was on, but I've rewatched it within the last couple of years. So that's, I knew I'd seen you on there because I resaw it.
Yeah, the comedy on there is like it's a really special comedy. Their writing is so good, and comedy is one of my favorite genres to do. Also, who doesn't like to laugh? So
right,
it just people love to laugh. They like to laugh and cry too, I guess. But laughter always brings in an audience.
Modern Family had terrific writing. The cast was terrific. You basically grew up with the kids, because it was on for so long. They went from, kind of the childhood actors up until they were getting very adult storylines by the time the show ended.
Kind of like fresh off the boat too.
Yeah.
We got to see those kids grow up. Yeah.
You did, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I found out late, but a guy that I had graduated high school with, his daughter was on the cast. She wasn't main cast, but she was like a recurring guest type of thing. I never knew. Found out later. I was like, hey.
Small world.
Small world. So let's talk about the movie, Two Sinners and a Mule, and it's terrific. I like to think I'm a little bit of a Western snob. I like good Westerns. This is definitely one of them. But tell me a little bit about what the movie's about. What's your role in it?
Well, I play Alice, the lead in it, and it starts off with these two sinners, which are the two sinners and a mule. They're two prostitutes, believe it or not, that are kicked out of town by the Women's Decency League because it's back in the 1800s. But long story short, there's a big adventure where they come upon this bounty hunter that's left for dead, and they come up to him and they say, hey, you know what, we'll help you for half the bounty. You can't get on here by yourself, so you kind of need us two ladies of the night to help you. And he reluctantly agrees to let us help him, and we go on an adventure of getting his bounty, and there's lots of gunfighting, people die, and I eventually end up coming back into the town that I was kicked out of. So there's kind of a heroic moment at the end too.
It was very satisfying to watch.
Yeah.
Well, you grew up, I think, riding horses, is that right?
Yeah, I grew up on a ranch, so I've done it where I've gotten cattle in on horseback with my dad.
Really?
Had a pony as a kid and everything. So
you were the one kid that actually had the pony.
Yeah, I had a pony. Yeah, but the pony did go to work too. So the pony was used for chores as well. But
did you go back and get one of the ranch horses to be in the movie with you?
Oh no, we didn't. The production had all their own their own horses.
But where was the movie filmed?
We filmed it in New Mexico.
Oh really?
Yep.
Yeah, I guess that's a really good, if you look back, a lot of Westerns were either filmed there or take place there, even if they're filmed somewhere else.
Right. Yeah, a lot of times they might fake some locations.
Yeah, exactly.
California for Arizona or vice versa. So,
but yeah, that's pretty useful if you can already ride. Because I know I've learned, actors have that thing where if somebody asks them if they can do something, they just say yes.
Yeah, right.
Whether they can do it or not. And the worst one may be horse riding. Yeah, I can ride a horse, and they've never been on a horse.
Yeah.
So I know horseback riding's not yours, but have you ever been asked if you could do something and then had to go learn how to do it before you were on?
Oh, I'm trying to think. There was like some stuff where there was like some dancing or ballroom dancing. And I was like, oh yeah, I can do that because of course I did it in college and
Right.
stuff. Took dance in college and everything. So yeah, there are those times you're like, okay, what was that again? And you're maybe like searching how to do something again overnight, but can't think of a specific time. But yeah, there's definitely like, skills that you're like, I did that a couple years ago. Yeah, I can learn that again. And
I've done it once. I can do it again. Did you have to learn to shoot or did you already know from being on the ranch?
Yeah, so I did have to learn how to shoot.
Yeah.
I've only shot a real gun like a couple times in my life, but if you saw, I got to do like the one-handed,
I
the
did,
one-handed flip
which
cock.
is like the coolest thing to do with the rifle.
Yeah. I did learn how to do that in a week. So, because I didn't have my own gun to practice at home. So once I got to set and was talking with the armorer, he showed me how to do it. And yeah, I just practiced on set, practiced on our rehearsal days, and yeah, I got it down. So
I mean, that's pretty great.
yeah.
That's pretty great. Was there any part of the filming or the work you had to do on it that was difficult, like more difficult than what you're used to?
There's always stuff that goes on
Right.
set, I feel. So there are like other things, like when you're filming a Western and it's outside, you've got to deal with all the elements of maybe the wind and just more.
Yeah, what's the weather like when you were filming? Was it at least warm out, or were you filming where it got cold in the evenings or something?
Well, it was warm. I guess the evenings sort of do get kind of cold, but the main thing was it was so dry and windy because, it's a much higher elevation than LA. And so, yeah, I really actually kind of got affected by like the climate sickness, or what do they call it?
Oh,
Elevation.
the altitude can get you.
Yeah. So
You got to drink a lot of water.
you have to drink a lot of water, and they actually have oxygen bars.
Oh, really?
And
I've always wanted to try one of those.
I went to one, I felt a lot better.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it might be like kind of, casinos will pump oxygen in. Maybe it's kind of like that, except you're getting it, directly into you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's kind of interesting. I guess I never thought about it being at altitude, but it is.
Yeah.
I know that when I've been to Denver, and that's always the one that I know when I go to Denver, make sure I drink plenty of water because you get dehydrated so quick.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. My wife, she came back from Mexico City not too long ago. Same thing. It's a elevated, so she had the same trouble there.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So,
any chance that we get to see these characters in a sequel?
I'm not sure that they've made a sequel for it. I'm not sure, but it is kind of open.
I thought so. They left it where they could do a sequel if they wanted to.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Yeah.
I'm crossing my fingers.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Western?
Oh, I remember my grandpa and I would watch Bonanza. So, I mean, that's kind of a classic.
Were you a Haas or a Little Joe fan?
Oh, I like Haas a lot. Yeah. My mom was a Little Joe fan, but I liked Haas.
Yeah. Haas was pretty great.
Yeah, he really was.
He was always the one. He was like he's just a nice guy until he wasn't.
Yeah.
Till he had to take care of something.
Yeah.
And then there was the other brother, Adam, I think maybe was
right. Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yeah, it does.
And Lauren Green.
Watched it, but
I mean, Lauren Green was amazing. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. It was. I watched a lot of John Wayne, Clint Eastwood with my dad growing up. But my favorite Western, it used to be Magnificent Seven, and I still love it, the original Yul Brynner. But it's Tombstone, which is it's 30 years old now, but I love that movie because it's so quotable, which just adds to a movie. If you can remember quotes from the movie, you've probably enjoyed.
Right. I'm that way with The Big Lebowski. You can quote that movie all day.
I love that one. That's a great quotable movie
Yeah.
and just a good movie.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's that's a classic. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I love that one. So
Yeah.
you got to do your own movie, produce, star in a movie, Sixth Friend,
Yeah.
which I'm a big chicken, but I have seen this one. Kind of. I had to, cover my eyes a few times because I'm like, oh no, bad stuff getting ready to happen. Just tell me when that's done.
Yeah, right?
But yeah, that really good movie. And that, like, people still talk about that movie, and it's been 6 years, maybe something like that.
Yeah, I think it came out 4 years or something like that. I think 2019 was the
Oh,
release.
okay. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it,
I was thinking like 16, 17, but yeah, 19. So four. So it's still been a few years,
yeah.
but people still talk about that. It was really well received.
Yeah, it's funny because with that it was so female driven and we didn't even plan any of that. Like me and my partner got together and we had the script and we
Yeah.
produced it together. We hired on a female director and it was just kind of had to happen to be like a female cast and everything. And then the press picked it up and they're like, oh, all female horror film. And we're like, oh, we didn't even plan that. But yeah, I guess it is kind of a female driven,
I was going to say that was very timely.
so yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty great. We've been chasing Jamie to be on the show
Oh yeah.
for years with that,
Yeah.
but she's always so busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but she's pretty great, and the cast as a whole was really good in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
good. It was good. It was a rare horror film that I could get through.
Yeah. With a surprise ending.
It did have a surprise ending.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one that if you're a horror fan and you haven't seen that one, you should check it out because it's good. It's good. I mean, those are the best movies with the twist at the end.
Right, right. Yeah, like movies that I've been kind of wanting to make, just going forward, now that the strike is over and everything, I've been really wanting to make more like spiritual movies that are kind of supernatural.
Ooh.
Have a supernatural element, but also a
Yeah.
spiritual element to it. So I think that could really,
Now you're talking my language a little bit.
yeah. It's kind of a
that'd be
little
pretty
bit
good.
scary, but also mystical and also hopeful and
Well, you can throw some comedy in there.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, of course. You gotta break up the mood a little bit with some.
Yes, especially for fans like me that need a little bit of the stress to come down occasionally during the film.
Yeah, sure. They always say that, even in horror movies with all kinds of genres, you've always got to add in that light,
A little bit. You need a little bit.
So.
Let everybody catch their breath a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I hope you get to do so. If you get to do some of that, you have to come back and tell us about it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. So the projects are in the works right now. And so just getting developed right now and everything. So yeah.
I mean, do you
comedy in the way that's really, I think that was really going to be interesting. It's kind of like a dream, story. You're not really sure what's reality and what's not. So it's pretty artsy that way. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. Have you always written, or is that something you just picked up, once you kind of got into acting?
Yeah, I haven't really been more of a writer. I've always been more of an actor and producer. So this would be my first time at writing. With one of the projects, it's already written, so the script just needs a few tweaks and everything. But on the other one, it needs like the development is done and like the outline is done, but the script still needs to be written. But that one is the one that kind of has like a spiritual element to it.
Where'd the idea come from?
It's funny. I just did another interview earlier today, and I said it's funny because I got the inspiration for this film off of a YouTube video. So you just never know like when you're gonna where you're gonna find your inspiration from. I was sitting here thinking, I really want to make something that's like spiritual, has a supernatural element to it, and an element of God to it, but I don't know what that story is. And then, I saw this video and I was like, oh, there it is. That's the story. And so that was kind of my inspiration for it. It's based on, not based on a true story, but inspired by a true story. So
I love that.
The best writing comes from anyway, is real life,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's the truth. Even if you fictionalize it, if the story is based on real life, I think it's better.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, real life is stranger than fiction, as they say.
Well, so once you started writing, did you find it to be difficult, or did it just kind of flow?
It kind of you kind of just kind of get the breakdown of things
Yeah.
going, and then once you get into the groove of it, it kind of flows out more. So I find that like getting started is once you get started you can get going, but getting started is kind of the challenge. And
That's
everybody,
what most writers say, right? Is just it's just starting, getting the first
yeah,
words on the page.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And once you get that, you can kind of snowball from there and just play it out like the story you have, or the story that's in your head, just kind of play it out. So
Yeah. I saw a video last night that it was a ship in the ocean and there was things swimming alongside it. Have you seen this?
no,
It's, I mean, what the video is saying was, it looks like mermaids swimming alongside it. And I'm sure that it's something else, but
yeah.
it looks kind of like it makes you like,
What, this was a real life video, or?
yeah, it's a real video. It's
Oh
supposed
wow.
to be. I can't verify that it's true.
Oh,
But it's just like the ship's moving pretty
science
fast, and you can see something on both sides in the water that's really moving alongside the
yeah.
ship. And then there's a like sound coming from it, and they like slow it down, and it kind of sounds like somebody saying, jump in for me.
Oh my gosh, yes, I've seen that video. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay.
It's
It was a
kind of creepy.
yeah.
But then I was like, oh, that would probably make a good story.
Right. That would make a good horror film. Yeah. Fisherman goes missing at sea, and there's like voices in the ocean saying to jump. It's like, no.
That's it. What
And
was
then Jesus, no.
do you remember what your first role or first time on set was?
Oh, one of my first roles was Kids on Broadway. It was like this singing and dancing
I
local
remember
group.
Kids on Broadway.
Do
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen it, but I remember when that was kind of a thing because there was, you see clips or advertisements and that type of stuff for it.
Yeah.
So you were involved in that early on?
Yeah. Yeah, and it was out of North Dakota. The one that I was
Oh,
in. And also I remember one of my first musicals was The Wizard of Oz. I was the Wicked Witch.
oh, that's great.
Yeah, yeah, it was fun. I got to fly up on the gazebo and melt and turn green, and so I got to be a part of all the special effects. That was a lot of fun.
Did you have to sing?
Yeah, I did sing. So I sang some of the chorus in the background, but the Wicked Witch didn't have a solo. But the next year I did Annie Get Your Gun, and I was Dolly Tate in that. And so that one I had a solo. That was the next summer theater that I did after that. So
Well, that's pretty good. So you can hold your own in a musical.
oh yeah, yep. I sang in college too. That's when I kind of started taking my first voice lessons. So
Yeah.
but I've taken some after college too. But
I mean, that's a good skill to have as an actor, because not everybody can sing or carry
yeah,
a tune for that matter.
for sure. I mean, I'd love to do like a movie musical, and so that'd be a lot of fun. I've recorded some stuff in the studio too, so a few songs.
Oh, you
Just
should,
some
yeah.
songs, but
You haven't put them
yeah.
on Spotify yet?
No, they're on my social media. They're not on Spotify yet,
Okay.
but yeah, I don't
But
know.
they're
Maybe
out there.
be put on there. I'd have to say cover by it. So,
That's okay.
but yeah.
Yeah, that's terrific. Yeah, I didn't realize that you sang as well. Do you play an instrument?
Oh, I did play an instrument. I used to play the bass clarinet. So that was
Oh,
I
that's
played
the
that for
big
8
one.
years. Yeah, yeah. It really takes a lot of air. And I feel like that helped me with my singing too. Being able to play that, it just helps with
Oh, yeah, probably did.
correctly when you're
Were
playing and
you
singing.
like playing in a high school band?
Yeah, well, I was a part of the band. So, and yeah, that's where I played that. And I played a little bit of piano growing up. So I do regret to say that against my mom's wishes, I quit.
Yeah, that's always the case. I was the same way. I took 2 years of lessons from my music teacher aunt, and she did her best, but it did not take with me.
Yeah,
And so I
yeah.
gave it up. But it's always the parents that are like, yeah, you should try piano.
Right, right. You're gonna regret it if you quit. No, I won't. But yeah, I mean, I picked up piano a little bit again. So I mean, I can play just very, very little bit, but yeah, it does help to be able to plunk out a few notes when you want to be a singer.
Yeah.
So gotta
Yeah, you
be,
either need a guitar or a piano so you can
yeah,
kind of get the tunes and the note right and stuff. So yeah, it doesn't help if you, or it does help if you can at least play a little bit or know the notes even.
right, right. So
That's pretty. Was it like when you got that first role and you're out there on stage for the first time? And I know you did it through high school and everything, but professionally when you got out there for the first time, were there, was it just terrific and you loved every second of it, or was it like nerves and kind of miserable, and then looking back you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad?
oh no, I've always loved every single second of it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've always loved what I do when it comes to acting. I don't know that I've ever had like a bad like a time where I didn't want to be doing it. We've all
Yeah.
had like bad experiences and projects and stuff. When you do enough of something, you're gonna run into
That's
some
right. You're
bad.
gonna run into some bad stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, I never think, oh, I don't want to, once you are acting, I've never thought, oh, I don't want to do it. It's always like I want more.
Right. Right.
So
I'm always nervous before an interview, but as soon as it starts, I'm fine.
yeah, it's kind of like waiting in the wings at a play, right? You're waiting for your cue and you're like, wait, what's my line? Oh, I have
Right.
to go to the bathroom. There's your cue. And you just go out there and
And you just
suddenly it
go.
all comes back to you.
Yeah, it just comes back. I always
Yeah.
get I'm an introvert at heart, so I always have a little bit of nerves, I think. And not just for the podcast. Anytime I gotta like speak in front of a group, anything, I'll get a
Yeah.
little nervous, but once it starts, I'm fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and some people will say nerves are good.
Adrenaline. You need some adrenaline for the energy.
Right. Pumps you up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I tend to bunch my interviews. So I don't interview every day, but on days I do, I might do 3, 4, 5 interviews, and I always love it when the first one goes really well, because then
Yeah.
I know the rest of them are going to be good.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
start off
because you
on
get kind of that energy, you get in the right frame. Whereas if it was a disaster on the first one, it might mess up the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta have that recovery. The first one is bad. It's like, hey, let's regroup.
Well, I
Gotta
also
regroup.
do that. I'm okay bunching like, one after the other for the other, 3 or 4 or whatever. But that first one, I always leave a gap before the second one, just in case I
Yeah.
got to recover. It's rare. Most of the time it goes good. It's rare. Surprisingly, occasionally you'll find an actor, a musician, someone that you would expect to be used to talking with or
Yeah.
promoting, that really doesn't do a great job on an interview, kind of the one word answer type of thing. And those can be difficult to
Yeah.
be like, if you don't
Gotta
say something, it's going to be like a 4-minute interview.
You
Nobody
gotta,
wants to hear me talk.
yeah, it's kind of like you gotta fill all that space of,
Yeah,
you're like, I was planning on the answer being longer. So
that's right. I'm like, oh, okay. Let's see what else I got.
yeah.
have,
But
have you had any, or do you have any desire to work behind the camera, like in a directing role?
yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun to direct down the road. So
Yeah.
like I said, right now I'm really comfortable producing and acting, but directing would be a really fun adventure that I'd like to do. Um yeah, you really get to tell, I mean, as a producer, I feel like you get to tell the story with your creative say a little bit. You have the final
Right.
say on how it's edited, how the film is properly finished and everything. And you get that too with the director. I think with the being a director, you just kind of have more control on set because you're, you know, the entire movie is being
That's
driven
right.
by
You're kind of in charge on set.
you're in charge of everything. So you're kind of driving everything. Whereas as a producer on set, you kind of take a back seat and let the director direct. And then when it comes to the, you know, behind the scenes of even on set, you're taking care of stuff. But
yeah, producer's kind of the catch-all. Just like whatever's needed, the producer kind of steps in and does some of that.
Yeah, puts out the fires, puts out flames all the time. So the director doesn't know about.
Is it difficult wearing, multiple hats on set? If you're acting in something and producing, is that difficult or does it make it easier?
It can be challenging. So it can be challenging, but then it also makes it easier too, because like I said, you get to kind of do it the way you want. But yeah, it is a lot of pressure. So I think that's why it's really important to hire the right crew when you are producing, like hiring people that can help assist in the areas that you need and not have to have everything come down on you, because you've got to shoot this other scene too, as well as put out all these,
That's right.
put out all the problems that are happening as well. So it's nice when you can have someone that can kind of take over while you're filming, and
well, you got to have that, because there's no way you could be acting and directing at the same time. You do it on the same film, but you couldn't do it at the same time. I don't think that'd be difficult. I think you'd think somebody would need to step in and kind of cover the directing side while you're acting.
I have seen people on set where they've directed and starred in the movie too. So
that seems hard.
That's a challenge. I think that would be harder than producing and acting. To direct and act in the movie would be
if you were the director and you were acting in the movie, would Chantelle the director be hard on Chantelle the actress?
Oh yeah. For sure. It's got to be right. If it's not right, don't even do it,
Well, that's true, because fans, people watching the movie, they can be kind of rough, if they see something forever. That's not right.
Right. And it lives forever on film. 10 years you can still go back and watch it, and you want to be proud of the work that you've done. So
that's right. Did you enjoy wearing the costumes for the movie?
Which one?
Oh, for Two Sinners and a Mule.
Oh yeah, the corset. Gosh, I don't know how those women did it in those days.
I don't either. It looks so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Is it hard to ride in all that?
It's actually not, because it's just the same as sitting down, I guess. And when you're on a horse, you kind of, want to.
You got your back kind of straight anyway, I guess.
Yeah. So on a horse, it's not as bad. It's harder to like plop down in a couch and like, relax in it.
Yeah, because you can't bend.
Right. Just have to sit up tall all the time.
Yeah. Well, Chantelle, this has been terrific. Thank you so much for taking a little bit of time. The movie is great. Well, both of them. But we'll go with Two Sinners and a Mule's the newer one. Sixth Friend, really good too. So I can't wait to see what you have next.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. So a couple little things before we wrap. I think we've touched on anything, but anything else you want to mention about something you're working on that we can keep an eye out for?
Like I said, the strike has just gotten over, so I've got a couple projects that are, in development, and one that I'm working on right now. So just stay tuned for those. I can't give out the names of them yet because of NDAs and all that, but we've got lots of coming up. So
that's exciting.
Hit the road.
Yeah. Did you go down to the picket lines any?
No, I didn't make it down there. So
I made it like when I was in LA in October, and I got down there one time. I was like, I just want to go and check it out. I'll go down there one time. It was like 110 degrees. So I was like, nope. Wrong day.
No, I didn't make my way down there. So, but I'm glad they came to a conclusion, and hopefully we can all get
back to work. It was like wait, and then go.
Yeah, it's gonna just snowball in January, so it's probably gonna be super
You
busy.
better rest up through the holidays.
But yeah.
Where can we find you on social media?
Just my name, Chantelle Albers. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, IMDb, YouTube.
Yeah, it
So
pops right up if you put it in.
my website is the same name. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do you do your own website?
yeah, I have a web developer that does it, but
Oh,
yeah.
that's good. That's good because it takes so much time to keep up with a website. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to have help.
Yeah, it's nice when you can have a website that is a little more user friendly too. So
Yeah, that's true. I've seen some of those where it's difficult to navigate at all.
Like, oh, it's too much.
Yeah, I'm lucky. Our website, my son handles all that. I don't have to touch it.
Yeah, yeah.
He handles all the hard stuff. I just show up and start talking. Thank you so much. This has been great.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for having me. So
You got to come back when you can talk about some of these other projects. You got to come back and tell us about them.
yeah, I'd love to. I'd love
Yeah.
to. So we'll have to set that up.
Thank you so much. Hold on one second. Chantelle Albers, really talented actress, and I think a really talented writer. If you haven't checked out The Sixth Friend and you're braver than me, or you enjoy horror movies, it's a really, really good one. She plays Melissa. She does a terrific job. And then Two Sinners and a Mule, one of the better westerns I've seen in a while. Really, really good. It's got female protagonists. Kind of, to me, it reminded me most of Banditas, but maybe a little Bad Girls in there as well. But just a really good, kind of old-fashioned western. Just really good. So check that out. It's out now streaming as well. So please support Chantelle with her acting and her screenwriting. I think it sounds like we're going to see some more things from her soon. So we'll have her back on. If you're finding us for the first time, thank you. Love that you're here. Would love to have your support. We've done almost 700 of these. You can find all of them, audio and video, on our website, meistercon.com. It'll also let you know if we're doing anything in studio, if we're going on location, if we're covering a convention, anything we've got going on will be on the website, meistercon.com. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Please subscribe. It's free. Really helps us out. Those subscribers help us to bring in the great guests that we have. And I would put our guest list up against any other show that's out there. I think we've done just an amazing, I was going to say we've done an amazing job, but maybe that's not the way to say it. We have had the best guests on the show. Terrific. I don't know that that's because of us, but for whatever reason, they are the best. So check those out. And if you're curious about everybody that's been on the show, you can go to our IMDb page, look up the Two Opinionated podcast, and it'll tell you all 700 guests that we have had on. You will find tons of people that you're fans of, I promise. IMDb also just named us a top 100 podcast. There's 15 million or so podcasts out there. To make a top 100 list, really, really special to us, and thank you all so much for helping us get there. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Until next time, bye everybody. Hi everybody. I'm once again here to ask for your support. It's been a big year for the Two Opinionated podcast. Back in February, we got to live out a dream, moderate for William Shatner here in our hometown. In May, we passed 100,000 downloads on our YouTube channel, and we followed that up in June with 50,000 downloads on the audio side. We recently posted our 600th episode, which is pretty good volume for just a father and son operation. Not too many podcasts can keep that volume up. We've been doing this now for 4.5 years, 600 plus episodes. We recently hit 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, which is a really big deal for us because we've always gotten the views, but have struggled to get people to subscribe. So that 1,000 was a big deal for us. And best of all, we were recently named one of the top podcasts on IMDb, which is the entertainment database. You know, those that are ahead of us, we came in at number 82. Those that are ahead of us are bigger companies like Disney, mostly Marvel, and Joe Rogan, that type of podcast. So for us, being just a small West Virginia father and son podcast, to be in the top 100 out of 15 million, it's a pretty big deal for us. So thank you for everything you've done for us so far. Got a couple little ways, though, that you can help us, and they're free and they're really easy. If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel yet, please go to YouTube. It's under MeisterCon Pod. Just hit subscribe. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, really helps us a ton. And maybe even more important, if you could go to IMDb, imdb.com, look up the Two Opinionated podcast, and just look around the page. Just having that traffic on the page really helps us out. So that's a couple easy ways that you can support us, even if you're not listening or watching all of the time. And we want you to listen and watch, because I think that our guest list, I would put up against anybody, any other show, podcast, anybody out there. I think our guest list holds up. So please check us out. You probably will find somebody that you like, or maybe somebody that you didn't know you liked, but kind of discovered them on there. There's tons of that. If you're into music, we have that too. If you like books, we've got authors on there. If you're more into what goes on behind the scenes in the entertainment world, you know, we've got producers, directors, video artists, anything you can think of that happens behind the scenes, we've had them on the show. So definitely check us out. Thank you guys so much. Until next time. Bye, everybody.